Okay, so now that you got your car done, you may be wondering why I didn't explain how to install it. Because in fact there is multiple methods, like if you're using it for FiveM or for GTA. And now I'm gonna just show you how to prepare your car to be used in a local FiveM server. But it's the same steps as adding them to any FiveM server, in fact. So first thing, if you didn't do that already, you're gonna go to this link that I'm gonna give you in the description, and you're gonna install a local FX server. So it's like a FiveM server, but it's gonna be only for you. Not gonna detail everything, all is explained there. And when this will be done, you will have something like this. So mine is installed in my C local disk, and the folder will be the same name. And you have all these files and multiple things inside. So right now, first of all, what we're gonna do is go in this shitty website, gta5mods.com, and you're gonna take any card that have an add-on linked to its name, like this. So this one is set up for regular GTA. We're gonna adapt it to be used in FiveM directly. So you go in any car, you download it, and when it's done, you open it and you have the replace and add-on. For most of them, you're gonna just have the add-on. You go there and you take this dlc.rpf and you're gonna put it directly in open4 because you can't open those RPF file without it. So I gotta just wait that it loads. I'm gonna just extract it anywhere because you need to take all the files inside to put them on your server. And for that you have to extract it before. So like that. Which score is this one? Is just 2 megabytes, so it's gonna be quicker to do than a card that have multiple tuning parts. So you can take the same one. Gonna be easier. It wants to load, of course, it's taking time. So I go in edit mode and you drag and drop it in open4. And now you have your DLC file there. So you can delete this one, it's not used anymore. And inside the add-on you have those things. So those both are not important. I think that you can just, for example, take the no, you can't. I'm gonna give you those two because in fact they don't have anything inside. Like those two files, you just copy paste it, and it's saying that it's gonna load those 5 things. So you need the vehicle meter, car vibration, car calls, and handling at least. And then there's added the vehicle layouts. That's for let me remember. That's for example, if you have a car that have the right door openable and that it's set, that your wheel is set on the right side, this can be useful. But for most of the car, you don't even need them. But at least you can take this one. So if you got a car like that, you just have to adapt this thing. I think I never did it before because I didn't really care about that, and I'm not even covering how to switch the door opening. Like having the driver's side on the right side and the passenger side on the left. But anyway, you just take it with the other one, copy paste it, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on the server right there in server data, resources, and you have all this. So there you got cars, modes. I think that's for maybe I don't know, story quest or something like that, gameplay mode, and other virus thing. Don't care about that. You just go on custom cars, and there I got a lot of cars. And what you do, you create a folder there, custom cars, and you name it as the car that you have just done and that you want the spawn name. So right now I'm gonna take any model. I don't remember which one. Let's just make a copy of what I already got, like this. So this one's gonna be called ER44 Sedan 2. I'm gonna just copy the car inside. And on this file, you just make a stream for file, like folder, sorry. And from there, you copy paste those two things. So when this is done, you will, for example, go in data and you'll take the vehicle handling, car variation, and car calls there. You can also take the DLC text, but it's not important. You can just take the one that I'm gonna give you. It works, by the way. And for this part, it's done from here. You can just delete the thing that you added in the open4, like this, and boom. So right now we have 6 files there, have your stream file folder, and nothing inside. And inside there, I'm gonna put all your car parts and your car model, which means here I got 4 of them, because I got 2 files for the car and 2 for the texture. Not necessarily need a second one for the texture, but there I had already a file that's 15 megabytes, and you don't allow yourself to have a file that have more than 16 megabytes. I'm gonna explain that later also. So you just copy paste everything, the car, if you have tuning parts, and then you go first on the carcalls.meta. I'm using a text editor called Sublime Text, but you can use the notepad or whatever you want. And when you go inside, you have something like that. So right here on this one, which is funny, is that you don't even have any tuning on the car. Directly have the light setup. Haha. I think I'm not gonna take this car for the preview. At least I'm gonna give something regular from it. Because you need the kit thing for all the tuning that are natively on any cars, like all the honks, like all horns, and for example for engine upgrades, suspension, all those things. So I'm gonna just take these ones, put them in the other one. Yep. I'm gonna just copy paste this one like this. In fact, I'm gonna give you all the thing directly, like all those things that you can modify yourself. So right here we have what we're gonna modify, those 2 lines at first, and then on this part an ID value. So on the base car you see that there is a 390 ID value for the light thing, and I didn't copy paste it properly. Need to have the lights right after the kits, like this. Don't like how it's showing. Come on. Okay. So you got a part with lights, and you have another one for the kits. And this is very important to specify for any tuning parts that you're gonna have on a car. If you don't have any, you can just leave it empty like it was, likely having the light thing. But I recommend to do that, especially if you want to add like spoilers or those little things on the car. So you're sure that everything is set up already for that. So right now, what you're gonna do is here is gonna be your car name. If you remember, we call it ER34 Sedan 2. So you call it the same here, like this. And this is your car ID. So what is recommended, to be sure that you're not taking a value that's already taken on the server. So if you just set up the server, you won't have anything. But let's say you have an online server for drift cars or whatever, and you have multiple cars. All the cars are going to have an ID, and it must be different for each of them. So here we are taking a big value to be sure that at least you're not expecting to have the same as another car can have. So let's say here it's 2028. I'm gonna put like 2631 randomly, and there same thing, 263, but I add 1. It's not necessarily the same thing. You can do whatever you want, random numbers, whatever. But to be sure, I'm just putting +1, depending of this one. And when this is done, you do the same for this one, 2632, because it's the light ID value. And here it's written that it wants this thing. It's the same, in fact. So let's say that you want to remove a spoiler that is set in ZModeler as a spoiler. So you're gonna do like this. This is not for people that don't have any tuning part. So let's say you want to remove the spoiler, you call it however you want. So this should be initially the name of your tuning part. But if you put another name that is not existing actually on the car, it's not gonna add it. It's gonna do whatever you ask him to do. So here you just put a little description if you want, remove the spoiler of the car, like this. And this is an interesting thing. These linked models can make whatever you want, adding with your tuning part. Let's say that you have to replace all the doors. So rather than making 4 different tuning parts with all 4 door names, what you can do is just putting the first one, or whatever you want in fact, a window or whatever, and then you put all the names of everything that you want added with that on this thing. So I'm gonna show you that right after. So for now, as it don't have anything, it's written with a little slash in the end, like this. Same thing for this one, but this one is the one that we're interested in right now. It's gonna remove everything that you're setting up inside. So for that, you just remove this part, you add another one that is gonna close it like this. So you open it like that and you put a slash with the same name to close it. And here you add all items, which are all the parts that you want to remove. Oh shit. Here. So if you have the spoiler name in the car and that you don't have an error saying that it's not recommended to use the name in ZModeler, like it would maybe have an improper ID, it means that it's recognized by the game and that you can put its name here. So right here, just add spoiler, and which means that right now it have a tuning part that doesn't exist, but it's still trying to find it. We give him a shop label, like a little description. We are not giving him any other tuning parts applying when this one is applying, but we are saying when you apply this tuning part, you're going to remove this part of the car. And then you're going to cover which thing is going to be in the tuning section of the car. So right now, it's set as VMT chassis, and this is important because if you don't make it right, it's gonna crash your game. And for this, I will give you another file from Serial. This guy is just amazing because he knows everything in game, and you're gonna have those description for the mod kits, which we are doing right now. And when you go down, I'm not sure that's this one. It's maybe another one. Yeah, because I added myself a little thing that I wanted. should be near the other one. I think it's this one. So you get another reverse, okay. So get an example, and in the end we should have this, yeah. The vehicle mod types. So you get the chassis on your trainer, it's gonna show this tuning part in the chassis section, and you have all those sections natively. And then you have the Benny's Motorsport ones. So it's a large panel of tuning part that you can add on a car. So as we want to remove the spoiler, you can set it as whatever you want, but it would be more logical to do a tuning part that remove a spoiler when you are on the spoiler section. So right here is this one that we want to add. So here you just change the chassis for spoiler, easy. And let's say that your spoiler is actually inside your trunk in the car, so it's in the boot. Here you want it so when it's removed to put the bone the same as where it is. It's not necessary as you want to remove there, but let's say you want to add a door, okay? So you're gonna remove this door for another one. No, sorry, this door for this one. Let's imagine it's a door. Here, you get to specify that when it's gonna open, it's gonna follow the same axis as the native door of your car. So here you're gonna replace for, if you want to remove the driver door, the bone door D side F. It's the same one as in game. If you want the passenger side on the front, you put P side. If you want the rear one on the left side, you put like this, D side rear. And if you want the right side, which is the passenger side on the rear, you put like this. So that's for a 4-door car. You can take each door that you want. But if you're removing for example, a hood, you just specify hood. If you want to remove a spoiler, it's spoiler, like we said, the bone spoiler. But if you add a part, you take the axis where things are gonna move, so it's not gonna be trunk, it's gonna be boot there. Like I said, it's better to just keep the name logical there and not just adding chassis, for example, because if you take the chassis bone as it's in the middle of the word and you want to make something openable, rather than taking the door axis, so it's the door position, it's gonna take the middle of the word position, and the whole thing is gonna open far more than what you want, and in another position too. So right here, we're just gonna take boot. Because you're removing something, you can take whatever you want in fact, but just keep it logical, it's more easier for you. And for the collision bone, it's for example, if you have a collision, you set it inside. So here I'm not making any in any of my tuning parts, in fact. And for the other things, you don't really bother with that. Maybe for the weight value, if you want to spoil it to have more downforce, you can improve that value. Or if you want to have it less, you can make it negative too. So this was for the car calls.meter. Right now, if you don't have any tuning parts, you can just delete that and leave it like that. So right now I don't have any, so I'm gonna do like that. And for the link mods, for example, if you have a link mod that you want to remove the spoiler and add a roof spoiler, just gonna do like, where it is, do I have them there? No, I don't have in this car. The 180, I think I have multiple ones. Got too many tuning parts. So there in this section, I just copy paste an example, same thing. So the visible mods, so this should be like that in fact, but right now, no, like this. As we have one shit, as you have a tuning part, it should be like this. So link mods, we add another one like this, and we can just copy paste. Ah, damn. Those are for the wheels. I don't have any link mod on the tuning section. Here they are. So like this. Okay. So if you want to add multiple things on the linked models, you're gonna add all your items like this. So here we remove the spoiler and we add, for example, one tuning part that is the roof spoiler. So you're gonna add it there. Like this, you can add multiple items. It's not limited by anything. You add the roof spoiler and you add, for example, a new windscreen. Here it's not removed on the car, but whatever, just for example. And this one, as it's the roof spoiler, we want it to be open with the boot, for example. I'm gonna just put its name and you're gonna make it moving with the boot because it's open with the boot. If it is, in here for the windscreen front 2, for example, as it's a windscreen, you can just take the windscreen position if it's on the windscreen on your car. If it's not, you can just take the chassis, just like this. So when you remove your spoiler right now, it's gonna remove your base spoiler. It's on the tuning spoiler section and it's gonna move with your boot. In the same way, you're gonna add a roof spoiler, and this roof spoiler is using the boot bone too. So when it's applied and when you open the boot, it's gonna move it with it too in a logical way. And right now I'm adding also a second windscreen, and this one is with the chassis bone, for example, but it can also be the windscreen one, like this. So this is for the tuning section. Right now I don't need any of these because my car don't have any. It doesn't have any visible mod, so I can just leave that empty, like this. I save, and now I go for the next part, the car variation.meta. It's not on this model, the best, it's on this one. Here. So here you get the same name as on the carcalls.meta. This one. Okay. So you replace it at your 3472, and this gonna be for your car color. So if I remember well, this one is the primary color, secondary, percent, the I think it's for the wheels, I'm not sure. And you have two other values for everything. You can find that if you want in the car variations meta wiki, if I'm right. If you want to like understand what does what. You got on the forum there. So this is for the conversion, it's not what we want. I think it's this one. Yeah. GTA mods. Yeah, it's this one. So you got the colors, and it's explained there. Oh, it's, yeah. No, this one is a regular file. Oh, it's not written there. What the fuck? So we got an example right here. So it said the first is the primary, the second is secondary, the third is a percent, the fourth is for the rim, as 156 is the default color, and it's not saying for the two other ones. Ah, there it is, interior and outer rims. So you can check that if you want to check the base color when you spawn the car. If you don't care, you can just leave everything at 0. It's gonna put everything as black, and you're gonna change it after on the trainer. So this is for the colors. Here you got if you want to make specific liveries. I'm not gonna cover that because I don't know how to do that, obviously. I'm sorry. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna go fully down there. Here you got the default mod kit. And what I recommend is to make one with your mod kit, even if you don't have any. So you take the same thing as there and you replace like that. Missing a value, 2 there. So this is your tuning parts that are on the cockles there, even if you don't have any for now. At least it's set up to load them. And the other thing that you're gonna change is this value. And this is the light settings that we have set up there. So you copy and paste it there. And this thing is pretty much done at this point. Next is the handling. So this one is very easy. If you got a handling, you can change it there for your car. If you don't have one, you can just take any handling from any regular GTA car, and then you ensure that you got the exact same amount of values. That, for example, you don't have any copy of this one in the end, because if you do that, it's gonna just crash your game. So you just replace the values, or you copy exactly the same thing that you want to change from one car to another, and you paste it there. So let's say that I'm gonna take the drift handling I got there. I'm gonna take from the mass to the roll center height values, and you just replace them. Control V. So here in the end I got the F roll center height. I don't have any copy anymore of that, so it's just keeping on the other values. And on the top, right after the name, I got the F mass. So right now it's well done. And I just change the name of the car for my car. And when it's done, you save and it's done there. And the last one is the vehicle.meta. Right here, you're gonna put various informations. You have the car name with the handling identifier, if it's different from there. I think you can change it there. I'm not doing that, but you can try it. You have the game name, which will probably be the spawn name of your car. You got the brand, but it's not gonna change on your model. You have to do extra steps for that, but it's not really necessary, so I'm not really doing that in any way, in fact. But I'm just keeping a logical thing, so if I got a car, I just put the brand name here. So right here, I'm gonna put the ER3472. Here on the audio name hash, you have the game sound that are gonna be used for your car. So here it's gonna take the F620 for the engine name and the engine sound, sorry, not the engine name. And well, we can also say there is a lot of other things that you don't really care about. I think you can just leave everything by default. Just know that in the flag section, having this is for making your liveries working. So if you don't have it right here and that it's set up like that, you need to add it. So you add a space and then you add flag has livery. This is to support the livery in game. And for example, the car is recognized as the emergency car. Maybe it have a strobe light, I'm not sure about that. It's recognized that it's gonna have the sport type when it's gonna spawn, and that it got also various things. I don't really know what are this, but what's really important is to change everywhere when you have this model name. So right now I'm just selecting everything. I'm doing Control F and it's gonna show this. So everything I type there, it's gonna search for it in the file. So right now I want to find all things that have the old car name there. So on mine, it's gonna be, it's not this one, I'm sorry, it's on this one, yeah. So everything that have the Seraph name, you're gonna search for that. You click on find all, and you're gonna just type your car name. So here, for me, it's your 34 Sedan 2. And even in the lower part there, it's modified also. And you press escape. Then you can change the brand name. Here it's a Nissan, so I'm adding Nissan there. I want to use the Oracle 2 sound. Yeah, for why not? And right here it is done. So I'm gonna just add something because after that you're finished. Let's say that you have in open for texture file, so it's the YTD of your car that is more than 16 megabytes. You're gonna split them by just copy pasting it and giving it another name. And because I didn't cover that in the converting thing for how to make a car from Assetto Corsa to GTA 5, I'm gonna show it right here. So when you want to make a texture on your car, you can just create a new texture dictionary like this. You put it your car name like this, and then from there you open it with edit mode enable and you add all your car textures inside. So when it's exceeding 16 megabytes, you just create another one. You give it the name that you want. So I'm doing another like this. And I'm adding the other textures inside so that any texture file is not exceeding 16 megabytes. So if you got two like that, what you're gonna do in the end, because it's covered there, you have these things. Vehicle, here it's Sultan interior. So it's not this thing that we're gonna use, but you can just keep this one. You don't really care, but you're gonna have to change this thing like this. Should wait, like this. And then gonna create another one, and on this one you're gonna add a parent and then a child like this. I'm gonna just check that it's correct. I'm not reverting these values. So you have the second one, the first, and then the interior of the car and the second one. So you got this one, you got the second one, and then your regular. Okay, so this thing should be on the top. Like this, and the second is the parent, and the first is the child there. And here we got the second one, like this. So this is how it must be set up if you have multiple YTDs on your car. Like for example, you got two, but if you got only one, you don't really matter. You don't have to matter about that. You can just keep this one having the first and deleting this like this. So here it's written Sultan, on mine it's written Dom, but we don't really care about that. Just have to be sure that the child is your car name. And when this is done, well, your setup is ready. After that, you're gonna have only one little step. You go back on your server file, you go in server data, and you open this file, server dot what dot cfg, yeah. And you're gonna have various thing there. And here I'm loading all my cars. You got the menus, there you got various things. Here are the maps, for example. I think that you have to load things logically. So here you got the loading screen, there you got the drift tracks, sub menu. No, it's not. It's not necessarily logical. You don't really care. But be sure that you add your car name on this starting thing. Sorry that I have multiple ones. So what I do is just copy paste the last one, and I add my car like this. I save, and when it's saved, you can just try in your server. You're gonna see that it's gonna load it with all the other cars. And if it's done right, it will load in game. But I think that right here I didn't change I didn't change those names. I'm gonna just restart the server after. Oh, it's sedan 2. So YTD sedan 2 with a 2 like this. 2 sedan 2 HY like that. Now restart the server. And now you see that it loaded in game. And when it's done, you go on FiveM, load it. So if you didn't do that before, to be able to go on your server, you gotta go on the setting menu. Right under the dark theme, you have the den mode, which will show you a little new thing there, which is the localhost that we need. And then when the server is loaded there, you can click on it. So it's gonna load in game. So I think that it's on the resources you have on where it is. Right here you got the V menu that I already installed to spawn cars, teleport and all. I have also the V stancer. So if you didn't add it, you have to add the V menu at least so that you can spawn things. And for that you just type on Google V menu for FiveM and you're gonna find it in the tutorial for installing it. And when you're in game, you just spawn it with the name of your car. And that's it. Right here. My car is spawning. It got the same handling as I put it. So it's the drift handling. You got the same car sound that I put it. And all the lights are working because I've done them before properly. Right here it's not with the good car calls, but that's what you're gonna expect. Having at least the car spawning. Yeah. Enjoy.